Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, my dear respected viewers. Alfalaah has just sent me a request just to discuss the importance of having this new year and what we as Muslims, our focus should be. Just very quickly, and this is especially for you guys in Scotland here, is it's a new year and we all know it's a new year. Whether it's a Gregorian calendar or not, we live in this country. A lot of people at this time will be making new year resolutions, especially those people who have been putting on the pounds. I'm going to hit the gym once or twice a week, 3 times a week, lose some calories. Some of us may be thinking, I'm going to move on in regards to my job. Some of us may be thinking, I want to get a bigger house, whatever it may be in regards to the dunya. But as Muslims, first of all, our new year starts with Muharram, and that's extremely important for us to be aware of the Hijra calendar. But in regards to this new year, in line with the Gregorian calendar, what should our resolutions be? Now, they can be related to the dunya, and that's absolutely fine as long as they don't contradict the deen. But in regards to our goals and our objectives, we are people who have high focus objectives, and this I was discussing my Surah Waqia close to, that we are people whose goals and objectives actually surpass our worldly needs. So what kind of realistic objectives and goals can we have is, how are you going to progress in your deen this year? What is going to be different this year compared to last year? Some of us prayed salah for 20-30 years, and one time I was giving a lecture and this old brother came to me, he was in his 60s, and I was just discussing wudu, and he said, I've been doing wudu in this particular way for 40 years, 40 to 45 years, and what you just discussed in one of your lectures, I just realized I was missing out a fard of wudu. So the fact that when it becomes a ritualistic practice and it has no essence to it, we don't progress. So for example, our salah for the last 10 years, is it the same? Up and down, touch the ground, turn around, back to town kind of salah, where we just gone in 60 seconds? Or is it a salah where every time I'm praying, it's a prayer in which I'm engaging with God? It's an idea of istihdar, of me being conscious of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is expected from me. How is your salah progressing? Is it the same when you're 10 years old? How is your Quran recitation? Just because some of us, and I mentioned this before too, when it comes to deen, when it comes to dunya, so many of us, we start with reception, with nursery, with primary school, with secondary school, then to 2 years of college, then we go and specialize in a degree, then we do a postgraduate degree, and then some of us even push ourselves to a PhD, which is a good thing. But the fact that when we're 5 years old, we learn how to read and say, I can read, therefore I graduate myself from acquiring any more English knowledge. You know that reading is just the first few stepping stool. It's just a tool and a stepping stone in order to acquire more information. For some strange reason, we'll go into madrasa 10, 11 years old. Once we've recited the Quran just once with our Shaykh with some beats, and all of a sudden we'll say, I can graduate myself officially, and therefore because I've read the Quran once with my Shaykh. You reading the Quran is something which is a basic requirement. Do you understand the Quran? Do you understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expects from you? In salah we pray wal asr, qul huwallahu ahad, idha jaa, what I call the takeaway surahs, quick surahs. Do we understand what Allah is expecting from us? So that's progression in regards to your Quran. Progression in terms of your social life, with your families. How good are you for those who are married, with the husband to the wife, wife to the husband? How is your relationship progressing? Are you both gaining that sense of proximity to God? How are you as a father to your children? All of these things, this idea of progression. So what we want to focus on, inshallah, if you sit down, this is what the companions did, muhasabah, introspection, and then retrospection. Look at in retrospect what you've done previously, and then introspect yourself in regards to what you can change. You should think of, inshallah, 3 objectives this year that I want to, inshallah, whatever it may be, it's relative to you. It can be absolutely anything, but those 3 objectives, make sure that you're able to focus on, you're able to hit, and they're achievable. Not things which are unrealistic. This year I'm going to make sure I'm going to memorize the full Quran, and after I memorize the Quran, I'm going to start memorizing the Old Testament, the New Testament too. Unrealistic objectives. Think of those things, inshallah, which you can progress. And after your 3 objectives, inshallah, next year this time you say, you know what, alhamdulillah, done those 3, maybe I'll push on to 6 even. And this is the stages of Iman. I don't have enough time to explain this, but there's a difference between a Muslim and a mu'min. A person who, one thing is just submitting yourself to God, but one is consciously understanding what God expects from you. And that's a sense of progression. And the same progression we have in our careers, in our lives, as human beings. Just a quick example, I'll give boxing examples. Just a quick example, when you go to the gym, if somebody knows how to throw one jab, no one's going to say, I can throw a jab, and that's I'm the best boxer in the world, I'm Mike Tyson. He's going to now learn how to throw that jab with a cross, with a hook, with an uppercut, how to use footwork. He's going to progress as a boxer. You see boxers hitting the bags for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, hours on end. Even though they've been throwing that same punch for the last 10 years, they want to make sure they have accuracy. They want to make sure they have precision. They want to make sure they can do it in a resourceful way without expending too much energy. This is progression in regards to just boxing. Imagine the kind of progression you need for something which is going to, inshallah, allow you to be in a place where it lasts for eternity. That's Jannah. You want to push yourself to that level. And as I mentioned, for those people who came to the course, Sabiqun as-Sabiqun, the VIPs, we got to push ourselves to be amongst the VIPs. So inshallah, in conclusion, what I would like you guys to do, and it's going to inshallah be uploaded on the Facebook, is, you know what, share. If it's something which is private, obviously don't share it. But if it's something inshallah which you would like to share, inshallah, to encourage other people, write down 3 resolutions which you inshallah are going to focus on in this year, which are achievable. And inshallah, I'll be also part of the Facebook comments, inshallah, so we can have a bit of interaction. And final reminder, I'm going to catch you guys inshallah in February for my Surah Yasin course. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh for listening.